Well, good morning. Here it is. It's Wednesday. It's Hump Day. Today is April 19th. Of course, today marks 28 years since the Murrah building bombing in Oklahoma City. It's really hard for me to believe that was 28 years ago. It was certainly of course, a sad day, and a day that many of us will not ever forget. But God has redeemed it, and I truly believe that God has worked through and of course performed a lot of miracles from that. But anyway, today marks that day. Hope that you had a good Tuesday. Hope that now you're rested, and hope that you were able to sleep well and now ready to tackle the days, whatever today has for us, and the opportunities that it presents. This morning, I want to bring a devotion entitled "Get the Basics Down." Excuse me. I got a frog in my throat this morning. But it's amazing how many Christians think that good works will get them to heaven. They believe that God has some kind of point system. And if if they do enough good things, it's going to outweigh all the bad things that they've done in their life. But you see, nothing like that is taught, in the Bible. I mean, not even close. You see, the problem is that many Christians they don't understand the basic message of the gospel. They point to their own works, as to why they're going to go to heaven. And some people who claim to be Christians, they think that Jesus Christ isn't necessarily the only way to God. I mean, they think that all roads, lead to God as long as people are sincere in their hearts. However, Jesus, he made radical and exclusive claims, when he was here on this earth. And John 14:6, probably one of the ones that I reference a lot. He said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." Now, that was a bold and radical statement in Jesus' day. Any examination of the basic message of the gospel will quickly reveal that Jesus Christ is the only way to a relationship with God. I mean, make no bones about it. It is the only way. Now, while it's true that that non-Christians need to hear the gospel, I think it's also true that Christians need to learn the gospel. I mean, we need to know the gospel before we can, share it with others. And basically, that's called discipleship. That's teaching, young and new Christians, the basics of the gospel so that they really understand it. The Apostle Paul, he wrote the following about, the Christian spiritual armor. We've been talking about the spiritual armor of God in Ephesians. In Ephesians 6:15, he said this: "For shoes, put on the peace that comes from the good news so that you will be fully prepared." You see, in Paul's day, again, the Roman soldiers, along with their other armor, back in that day, sandals were the basic footwear. And so they wore sandals, but these sandals, they had nails and they had cleats on the soles of those sandals to give them firm footing. You see, they could dig in and they could hold their ground, by having those sandals with spikes on them. See, in the same way, the good news, the gospel, it gives us security and a firm foundation on which to build our lives. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you went out of your way to share the gospel with someone? When was the last time that you prayed for someone to come to Christ? as believers in Jesus Christ, we need to not only be prepared, with the full armor of God, but we need to engage people every day. We need to engage them because we're living in a dark world. We're living in, I think, the end times. I do believe we're approaching that time. I don't know exactly when it's going to be. No one does. The Bible tells us that. So if someone comes up and tells you it's going to be on such and such date, run the other way because they don't know. But anyway, we need to live every day prepared, to not only prepared, for his coming back, but also be prepared to share the gospel. And knowing the basics, is so important for us. And that's why, again, it's so important for us to be in God's word daily. Anyway, remember, Angie and I, we love you guys, and we're praying for you. And Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow morning. God bless you.